I said, yes, sir, I do. We actually connected through LinkedIn. He goes, I want to create a tournament. He goes, I think there's a new business. He's invested into something new. He goes, I want to create a tournament. Let's get some sponsors on board. Maybe we can shoot up some lights. He's in like the light category, you know, the whole entertainment type thing where he already hosts like different UFC things and stuff like that with his company, him and his buddy. And he said, can you get some gaming companies maybe involved? I don't know if this is 2 or 3 years down the road, but I said, we'll see what happens. So if things go well and I establish some good relations with some of these, sponsors that I'm about to be picking up, maybe they can drop some heavy dollars on a huge 64-man Dallas, Texas Counter-Strike Go tournament like in the old days. But that's my goal, but I don't know if it's going to happen. We'll have to see.
You said 64-man. You meant 64 team?
Yes, sir. Sorry.
No problem.
Now, considering that the EU community is extremely vibrant in comparison to the U.S., do you see the U.S. community moving to the same level? And if so, how do you see that happening? And where do you see Exemius fitting into the mix?
That's a good question. Currently, the European market is way, way above our market. It is by 100% or a scale of 100. You put, the European at 100, and you put North America for esports at about 30. That's how different it is. And it's big. And you're probably asking me, well, Brad, how do we get to that level? It's going to be tough for the United States, Canada, and other countries in this side of the nation to get to that level because we have professional sports. I mean, real professional sports. Right now, all they have over there is, they have, our soccer or their football, and it's huge. Here, we have basketball, we have football, we have baseball, we have hockey. We have all kinds of things, professional things, and a lot of sponsors want to drop heavy dollars into those categories versus, into other markets such as esports. The streamer base for esports is going to have to rapidly grow. We're going to have to change. We have things like pay-per-views, esports pay-per-views, matches, championship pay-per-view, even if it costs $3 or $4, as if you're renting a DVD through your internet or your cable provider. That's where esports has got to go to make the next level to jump to European market. That's where we have to win. And that is something that Michael Winchester dabbles in, pay-per-view. And he goes, I would love that. I'd love to have a pay-per-view event for esports. And I said, well, that's a possibility. But the first thing that it's going to jump into, it won't be Counter-Strike, sad to say. It'll be things like Dota or League of Legends.
Yeah, you're probably right on that aspect. I mean, I'm, as a Counter-Strike fan and player since '98 myself, I really hope that Counter-Strike can get to that level in America, which is the whole point of what we're doing and other people are doing, really trying to build the community and get things going. But, in order to getting back up to the point that, Europe is, that's pretty tough to do.
It may not be as hard as we think in the sense that the Americans, we love buying shit. So as far as attracting sponsors in the sense that we have a large buying power, it may not be as hard as we think. Not that it's not going to be difficult. But,
yeah, we do like buying a lot of stuff. You're right about that. But it's just difficult to see where, a pay-per-view type scenario can go. And, the viewer counts is so big right now in League of Legends and Dota and MOBA games is nuts. StarCraft even, And, excuse me, I was actually shocked to hear this recently. I told a sponsor that I might be getting the Call of Duty team. And they said, well, we're kind of not interested in the Call of Duty scene. And I said, well, why not? I said, MLG is huge. They said, well, MLG, is good, but we want to go with a MOBA. And I was like, wow. I was like, so you just don't even want to mess with MLG? They're like, no, the viewer base there is just, it's okay. But League of Legends is where any kind of mode, Dota or MOBA. And I said, and if we can work out negotiations with Brad, we'll sponsor Xemia Sports. I'm like, okay. Well, League of Legends it is.
Yeah, and unfortunately that's what we're up against. But I hope and I do think that we'll be able to find a way to market Counter-Strike. And just how hardcore the game is, it does require that 120 hertz monitor. You're not going to be as good without it.
And, you know, it's Counter-Strike, the one thing it has for itself versus all the other games is that one game pops out like every 7 or 8 years. That is the one thing that it had. It really helps it. It really does. You know, look at Call of Duty. A new game pops out every year. It's so hard to follow the best teams in certain games because there's so many of them. And then teams jump ship. And some teams are not quite as good as in some other games. And here's a good example. The best Counter-Strike Source players are not very good at Counter-Strike Go. Truth. Some of them are.
Some of them are.
And some of them are, but some of them are not.
The difference may be they haven't. Well, I don't know if these are who you're referencing, but if they haven't put the time in, then of course they're not going to get. There is definitely a transitioning period, and yeah, some people can't make it, but I feel like anyone that was good at either any FPS, any PC-based FPS, you will be able to pick up CS:GO after that initial investment of getting used to it, and the sooner you're able to let go of what you used to know and what you think the game's supposed to be like, the faster you're going to pick it up.
Amen to that. I've been trying to figure it out for almost a month now. I just came back a month ago, and I've been playing Counter-Strike Go ever since. And I've been ESEAing. I apologize if you've played with me. Yes, I suck. But you know what? I have fun, and I'm here just to have fun. So if you're going to block me on ESEA and make my rate go down or whatever, go for it. You know, if I have a karma of negative 75, I apologize. I don't mean to play with you and make you lose, but I'm trying to have fun and trying to get used to the game and, you know, play fun. Someone actually told me I was playing for the first time with the competitive servers.
Matchmaking?
Yeah, matchmaking, yeah. And I played, and we had a bot on our team, and he had the bomb, and he wasn't doing anything. So I just slayed him. I killed him. And then I was like, oh my gosh. I got banned, and I was like, what the crap? They said, Brad, you can't do that in Counter-Strike Go. And I'm like, well, what's the difference? Why does the bot have the bomb? He's like, well, I just can't kill him. I was like, that sucks. So I'm learning as I go. So I'm having fun at it, though. It's been a blast.
And I've heard a lot of, we have had quite an influx of people that otherwise, quote-unquote, retired. And as everyone knows, you don't retire from Counter-Strike. It's not possible. There's very few cases of that actually happening.
I'm glad you brought that up, actually. Because to be honest and true, I had every intention, whenever I retired and announced it on Complexity and GotFrag and back in the day Cadrid and SK, HLTV.org, whenever I announced it on all of those top websites, I had no intention of ever coming back. I really had no intention. But you know, a lot of individuals and some personal things happened to me and that have allowed me to come back. So that was big. You know, that was a big factor. I thought I was done forever, and I had the opportunity to pick up a lot of old Counter-Strike Source invite teams and take them to ESEA LAN and compete. You know, Dynamic was one of them, you know, and I didn't take them. And you saw the success in Dynamic. In Counter-Strike Source, and I passed on it because I stayed retired. So, interesting, right?
Yeah, no, it certainly is, and we'll see the results of your return, but safe to say we're glad you're back, and hopefully you can...
I'm just very glad to be back.
Good, we're glad, all of us. Xemius was obviously a very large impact on the scene. Hopefully yet to be.
Yeah. But it looks like that's...
Hope so. Go ahead.
It looks like we're actually running short on time, so it looks like that's going to be concluding our interview for today. I am Nappy, here with Shenlong, interviewing Brad Dick, owner of Exemia Sports.
Thank you very much for having me, guys. I'd like to take a shout out real quick to my sponsors at letsmonitor.com. If